Hello, crypto boys and ghouls, and welcome back to the channel, Tales from the Cryptmancer, where we feature content on play and earn games on the blockchain, such as Splinterlands. And in today's video, I have a very important topic that I wanted to discuss with the community, and it's talking about building a better future for Splinterlands. And we really have a unique opportunity, I think, before us to really make a difference in the future of Splinterlands, the long-term sustainability of our game, and really, quite honestly, just the fun of the game itself and bringing back some of that fun. And I want to talk about it because it's relevant, it's timely, and it's very important. So what I would start by saying is that probably if you are like a lot of Splinterlands players in the community, you may not be playing a lot of ranked battles these days. You may not be participating in a lot of tournaments these days. And the reason for that could be related. It could be related to the predominance of automation or botting solutions for ranked battle, as well as battle helpers for tournaments kind of skewing the results there. And I think what we've gotten to in a lot of cases in the state of the game is really probably more of a gamified DeFi platform rather than a game. And I think a lot of us originally came to Splinterlands because of the game, because it was fun and it had NFTs and it had Web3 and all that other stuff attached to it. But at the heart of Splinterlands are the cards and the game and the competition. And I think we've kind of lost our way a little bit as a game. And I think now we have a chance to bring things back into balance. Now, we've had on this channel a number of videos talking about in the past things like bot farms and bots in general and what it does to the ecosystem. I'm not going to rehash that, but what I want to talk about today is specifically a proposition that came live into the game. Today it's proposition number 28 for DAO voting. And the title of that proposal is Splinterlands will try to implement anti-bot measures in modern format. Now, I believe this is the most important proposal brought forth into Splinterlands, the DAO, thus far in the history of Splinterlands. And I think it's something that all SPS holders should vote on one way or the other. And let me just preface the proposal with specifically a comment that Matt added to the proposal that I think is hugely important to the direction of what this proposal could mean for Splinterlands. And I'm going to read it verbatim for you because I think it's that important. And what Yabat Matt said just a few hours ago was, I wanted to add some more information to this that may be helpful. There are third-party services that can be used to prevent bots from being able to use APIs, and they are supposedly pretty good from what I understand. So if this proposal passes, the plan would be to use one of those services in front of the battle API for the Modern League format battles, and the Splinterlands team would not be spending any resources policing the system or trying to identify bots and things like that. If this initial trial is successful, and we continue this on an ongoing basis, I would probably make a proposal to ask the DAO to help cover the cost of that service in the future, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So what Matt is saying here is there seems to be technically a real viable solution to eliminate bots from a section of the game. In this case, the proposal is the Modern League for ranked battle format to basically not allow bots to battle in that format and to be proactively blocked from submitting battles there. It would mean that the team could still maintain a bot neutral stance and that bots would be usable in the game's ranked battle wild league currently, as well as still technically allowable in tournaments and brawls. But what it would do, it would prove technically a point that bots in the bot usage of the API could be limited, and then it would leave it up to the community via the decentralized DAO and the SPS governance token to say yes or no for bots in certain aspects of the game. And specifically, I mean, you can kind of envision this as the picture. You know, Splinterlands bots, today you have bots pretty much all over the game, eating the grass and just making a mess of everything in some form or fashion. And then in the future, you would actually have a limit to where bots could participate / extract in the ecosystem. Now, what I think is interesting here, I also want to bring up a further comment that Matt had on Discord that went into a little bit more of the technical details around this, because I think a lot of people may be doubtful that such a solution could exist for removing bots from sections of the game. And what Matt said here, and it's very similar to his comment on the PeakD proposal, was I should mention on the proposal that CloudFlare has a bot detection service that we would plan to use for this. It should be relatively simple to implement and not too expensive, although it's potentially something the DAO can help pay for in the future. The point is, I don't really plan to spend much time or resources policing this, but I think the CloudFlare solution should work pretty well. So you have confirmation from Matt that technically the Battle API could be limited exposed or limited use for bots in certain areas of the game. Could be done fairly easily technically, and we could see results pretty much immediately in the game. And I think that is a powerful statement. So if you as a community or as a player have ever said, hey, I wish I would play human players, I wish bot farms wouldn't extract from the game, I wish that, you know, I wouldn't be having to use an Xbot or Archmage service to compete because that's the only way I can stay competitive. Now we have a trial or a way to test this, what it means for the game's future. And I'm honestly very excited about what this could do for players of Splinterlands, the game, right? Splinterlands, the game, players that want to play this game. I think this is a very positive thing that should be tried, that should be attempted. And this is why I think this vote is so very important to get through. So if you've ever had opinions on bots where you felt that there should be limits to where they could be used in the game, now is your time to speak up and be heard and use your SPS to vote your opinion. I also want to share, and I'll leave a link to this in the video description below as well, if you're curious technically what the CloudFlare solution does for bots. The details are here on this blog, talking about some of the tools that it's used for. It's not just used for games like Splinterlands, it's used all across the internet, Web 2, Web 3, etc. You can see some of the technical details here in this article. This is also, I believe, the solution that's being used in a limited format on Golem Overlord as well to fight bots in that game. So there is a precedence of this being used on Hive Engine in Web 3. So I guess I'll conclude by, I wanted to get this video out in a timely fashion because I really think it is very important for the future of our game for something like this to be tried and tested, to see what the results are, and to see, for example, if something like this could be applied to tournaments, to make tournaments really that human competitive area that it should be, truly an esport area where bots are not welcome. So I guess I would conclude by saying, you know, I don't ask you to subscribe or like videos or buy merchandise or join me on Discord or donate or do anything like that on this channel. What I would ask you as a viewer of this video and a viewer, hopefully, of the channel content here is let your voice be heard. Make a vote here for this proposal, one way or the other, whether you're for or against. But I do think it is something that you should have a voice on, because I do think that this proposal, in one way or another, will help determine what kind of future we have here in Splinterlands, and hopefully it is a better one. Until next time, keep stacking those stats.
That's